genocide has taken place in the western region of Sudan.
Also, what exactly is this genocide and how it has occurred?
Nightly news begins now.
Today, brutal fighting continues in Darfur, a western region in Sudan. Darfur, as you can see in this map, is about the size of France, containing around 6 million people from 100 different tribes. The reason for these recent fights dates all the way back to 1956, when the first of the two Sudanese civil wars began.
Our correspondent Brian interviewed Elizabeth, a history expert with a PhD in world genocide.
Those that told us that competition for scarce resources between North and South Sudan was a major cause of the two civil wars.
The first civil war lasted from 1956 to 1972, and the second civil war lasted from 1983 to 2005. During the 1980s, there were regional tensions that increased due to oil found in western Sudan. This oil discovery made the government increasingly interested in the land of Darfur. Because of the amount of competition and social tension, traditional measures were no longer able to settle disputes, and the government ignored reports of rising violence in Sudan. A comprehensive peace agreement was made, ending the North-South War in 2005. However, it did not help to far recover from the effects of war. The people living in Darfur felt horribly.
Our foreign correspondent in Darfur has seen this abandonment firsthand.
The people of Darfur have no money, no food, no water, and no house. Their villages are demolished and their resources are destroyed. The people here are literally skin and bones, and they are living in unimaginable poverty. Many Sudanese people have died, and the population of Darfur continues to decrease.
The government was said to be arming Arab tribesmen known as Janjaweed. The two rebel groups from Darfur against the government include the Sudan Liberation Movement, also known as SLM, and the Justice and Equality Movement, also known as JEM. After these rebel groups attacked an Air Force base, the government retaliated on this people living in Darfur. This began the Sudanese genocide.
In 2010, the Sudanese government and JEM signed a ceasefire. They agreed to somewhat work towards peace. However, peace was never fully reached due to the fact that the Sudanese army was still launching raids and strikes against Darfur. Also, the Janjaweed have been attacking neighboring Chad. Nearly 100,000 Chadians have had to flee from their homeland.
Ultimately, the peace talks with the rebel groups failed. As now there is an arrest warrant on Sudan President Omar Bashir. He has been charged with crimes against humanity and genocide. The government will not take him in hand. This has caused huge protests and even more violence.
The results of this Sudanese genocide are unimaginable. Ashley Crummy, reporting from a village in Darfur, tells us that the scenes in Sudan are incomprehensible.
These images stick with you forever. Darfuri village people have been tortured by the Sudanese Air Force. Common scenes include looting, burning down entire villages, burning food stocks, stealing livestock, and raping women and children. Dead bodies are even tossed in wells to contaminate water.
Although Darfur is in completely ruins, there still might be some rays of hope. We sent our reporter, Brian Conley, and he met up with John Dubb, a miraculous survivor of the Sudan genocide. Cut it. It's rolling, just go.
Dal told us that in 1987, his village was completely demolished. There were continuous bombings forcing him to flee from his hometown. He then began a journey to Ethiopia to seek refuge. On his long journey, he recalls eating grass like a cow and going days upon days without water. John Daw made his way to refugee camp in Kenya at age 17 and started to learn his ABCs and how to count. He graduated from writing in the dirt. Daw was selected to be one of the Lost Boys and was able to be rescued and come to America. Today he's an author and a philanthropist living in America with his family. Yet there are still many other Sudan refugees that were not as lucky as him.
Wow, what an incredible story.
Well, thanks for tuning in with Nightly News. Join us later tonight to get updates on this tragic genocide going on in Darfur.
Yeah!
Yeah!
What exactly is this genocide and how it is?
Shut up!
It's you!
You seen a news anchor with a hat on?
This is the Nightly News.
Are you done?
I'm Ron Burgundy. Stay classy, San Diego.
I'm bored.